Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off, brought to you by BetMGM. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia. That, of course, is Byron Buxton. I mean, the Welsh, and it's you. And today we're talking all things baseball, as we always do, every single day, noon Eastern, here on our Fantasy Pros MLB channel. The Welsh and I are breaking it all down. Fantasy baseball, regular baseball, betting baseball, DFS baseball. Basically, if it's got baseball in it, Welsh and I are going to talk about it. And Welsh, I don't think it's a coincidence that I took the last couple of days off. I was off on Sunday, took the kids on a little trip. Monday, stayed away. Byron Buxton was very red hot those days. Everybody knows you're the big Buxton guy. So I thought it might be safe to come back today. We'll see how it goes, but you got to be loving life so far. The Byron Buxton train is running on full speed.
It's a good one. There are so many things to get and we will get wrong that when you can hold on to one of those really loud, correct ones, it's very exciting. And I had my home run call yesterday was Buxton in honor of him. And I don't know if you saw, he missed a homer by that much, by like an inch. He missed his fourth shot of the year, the league leader, and would have put me in a tie for the home run call game that we play here. But yeah, Buxton looks red hot. And this is the point where we start crossing our fingers, because now everybody, this happened like last year too. Everybody starts getting in. Oh my God, Byron Buxton, he's amazing. He's the best. And then IL stint. So we've got to avoid the IL stint here for a couple weeks. But like I said, looks like a first round talent right now.
Tell me the greater number, Byron Buxton home runs or days spent on the IL in 2022?
Oh man, you're brutal. I'm going to say home runs. because I'm I've
Home
always been
runs.
known as an
The brave
optimist,
man.
Joe. Always.
I am a pessimist, so I will go. Actually, no, I'm not a pessimist. I'm an optimistic realist, and I'm going to say IL. But I hope I'm wrong. I keep saying I hope I'm wrong. But if you've got a home run call tonight, you got to get in our Discord chat and go ahead and drop that bad boy in there as well. I see we've got a couple people already at 2. Again, I took a whole day off, and you know this, Welsh. You know, when you take a trip with your kids, that's what it is. It's a trip. It's not really vacation.
Yeah.
You know, a vacation is someone bringing me cocktails on a beach on a hammock somewhere. That's vacation.
I've never
Trips
had a
are
vacation
different.
since I had children. Like I've taken trips with my kids. I've taken them to San Diego and Legoland, but I've never had a vacation ever.
You and me this summer, Welsh Joey P vacation. Maybe we'll bring
like
Bogman with us too. Let him be the pool boy. That'll be fun. All right, let's kick things off here with some of the headlines. Alek Manoah shuts down the Yankees. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 4 walks. Just like last year in that debut, the stage is never too big for Alek Manoah. Another great start for him against the Yankees. That's huge too. I think those confidence builders, those young pitchers against those division rivals, you know, you're gonna have a lot of starts against the Yankees this year, and I think that's very important that he feels confident and that the Yankees don't, if the Blue Jays are going to really win that division. Michael Lorenzen tosses 6 strong innings in a win over the Marlins in his Angels debut. Very exciting. All these two-way players. It's going to be great. Waiting for the coach's son to play shortstop after he pitches. It's going to be awesome. Also, speaking of, personal things here, Taylor Rogers earns a save for the Padres in a win over the Giants, and his twin brother Tyler Rogers takes the loss in the same game.
That was
so
cool.
This is kind of tough. If you're the parent here, what do you do? Whose phone call do you make first? Who do you text first? What do you do in this scenario?
I don't know. Like, you know what one I find always tougher is where like the kids are playing at the same time in important situations where like they're playing like both playoff games and the parent having to choose, I think, is the ultimate test. Like, this isn't like that bad. Like this one is like, sorry you lost. You chalk it up to the game. Taylor Rogers gets a save. I think you first call the one that lost and then you call the winner after. But I think the real test is the opposite end of that, where it's like 2 guys, big playoff situations. They're not in the same. Like if the Rays and Rangers were to make the playoffs and be playing different teams, what the Lowe family would have to do between Nate and Josh, that's the real test.
Well, I think the real test is we need to have people stop naming their kids the same name almost when they're twins too. Why do people have to do that? They already look the same. Why is that Taylor and Tyler and Jimmy and Timmy? Like, why do you have to do this? Why can't we just name them completely opposite names? If you had twins, would you name them the same or similar names?
No, I'm not like that. But like, do you remember Roger Clemens named all his kids with a name starting with
after
K?
K's. Yeah, Kobe. Gross. Yeah,
whatever.
Can't stand that. Also, you should note all this for those daily transactions lineups. Boston's Trevor Story is out for Tuesday's game with an illness. Also, the White Sox rejected an offer apparently for Frankie Montas for our boy Andrew Vaughn. Now, the caveat here is, of course, it's a Bob Nightingale story, so I don't know how much you want to believe in this. JP Perosi and Nightingale don't usually get a lot of things right. But if this is true and there's any smoke to this, if I'm the White Sox, I'm doing whatever it takes to get Montas. You got Giolito on the shelf. You got Lance Lynn on the shelf. Montas is a fantastic starting pitcher. I'm moving the heaven and the earth right now to get Frankie Montas if he is available. And we all know he is with the Oakland A's. And I don't think Andrew Vaughn is too much of a price. If this theoretical trade was in play, would you make this if you were the White Sox?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they've got. See, the problem is like Andrew Vaughn's bat's been pretty hot to start the year. But La Russa just doesn't seem like he's super locked in him. You know, I had reported back he was playing second base, which again, I think maybe shows some of the versatility of him. But at the end of the day, like, what are they holding back on? Frankie Montas might be the piece that they need. This is a championship-based team. They've got some flexibility roster-wise, but they did just lose Pollock, which is a downer. They traded Zach Collins. You are getting down a little bit to the Pavin Smith of being able to move around. So I guess I understand the flexibility and maybe not wanting to give up on the bat. But you're getting Frankie Montas. You're getting a guy that goes at the front of the rotation when you just lost, by the way, my Cy Young pick, Giolito, to the IL. So it makes all the sense in the world to me for them to make it. It makes more sense that the A's would ask for that because I saw a rumor that it was like Pavin Smith and some other pitching piece. And that just wouldn't do it if I'm an A's fan. To me, it would be Andrew Vaughn or bust. And I think this is one of those trades that helps and benefits everybody and makes all the sense in the world. So I'm a little surprised the White Sox aren't doing it.
Yeah, well, let's see. We'll know if it's true or not. Taijuan Walker started off good last night, but then left. Now he's got a shoulder issue. So the knee was bothering him. Now it's a shoulder issue. Oh, this guy just can't catch a break, Welsh, no matter what happens. He's going for an MRI on the shoulder, so hold your breath there. And sometimes when you have one problem, it ends up leading to somebody's mechanics getting off and something else hurting. So this is a terrible thing. Also, Mike Trout out with an illness as well. This is the opposite of Joe's tough guys, I think. I got to talk about this because I was in Philadelphia. I wasn't there for the game. We were in Philadelphia. We were hung out for a couple of days.
God, I love
got some cheesesteaks at Geno's. Mets happened to be in town, but I did not go. So don't say I'm the jinx. But Alec Boehm, apparently after a couple of errors yesterday in the game, could be heard mumbling under his breath, "I effing hate this place," referring to Philadelphia.
Well, let's correct two things here, Joe. Let's correct two things here.
Yeah.
3 errors in an inning.
3 errors.
And he wasn't seen mumbling. He was filmed walking over, looking at a player as the crowd cheered because he actually made a throw. The crowd cheered, and then he was filmed looking at his teammate and mouthing what you just said. And it's my favorite thing of the season so far, because also he was asked about it and he committed to it. And he's like, yeah, I said that heat of the game. But the worst part was he then pushed off of his heel nature. And then he was like, these fans are just so great, though. They just want to win.
So
and I'm sorry to the fans.
Everybody's
so
passionate here.
It's like, nah, dude. Like, he came out, he was like, listen, it was a heat of the moment. He should be like, heat of the moment. We all want to win. I don't want to be booed. They don't want to see errors. We move on. That's how you do it. But he's like, oh, the fans are so great. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, they're not. Dude. They're going to throw batteries at you next time.
They booed Santa Claus at Philadelphia. I lived there for 6 years during the height of the Donovan McNabb era, and there were more David Akers jerseys being worn on a regular basis than Donovan McNabb jerseys. It's a very difficult.
There's going to be more Duracells reaching first base than balls from him at third the next time he
more
screws
to the
up.
point. This is and although this is like a funny thing we're talking about here, there is something to this, and it's something that I will take a stand on it right now. If this is how this kid's going to be here in this scenario, him having success in Philadelphia is going to be very hard to come by.
Yeah.
He's going to need a change of scenery. I can tell you right now, I'm not buying into him the rest of the season. I'm going to wait and see personally. But
I think he needs to go as well.
I think this is a bad spot for him. If this is how it's going to be, he needs to go to like Southern California or something, or everything's just laid back. And, those Northeast
he needs to go to like a quiet, sleepy
town.
He needs to go to like Kansas City.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, Joe, not to throw it back out, but this is Alec Boehm was my weirdest interview I've ever done of any. Like I walked out and I was like, whoa,
that guy's weird.
Whoa.
Right, yeah.
It was during the Arizona Fall League a couple years ago. It's on my Prospect One show feed if people want to listen to it. It's about 8 minutes back in the locker room. It was odd from the top to bottom. He was super like about analytics, just everything you asked him. It was one of the more awkward, and I got it shared in some other spots. So again, I think he's gotten better about that, but his personality just doesn't jive with Philadelphia, and I don't know if they would move
I don't want to watch
him.
him there anymore. He's terrible. Somebody get
Boom.
I can't stand watching him. Boom's terrible.
Alec Boom, you suck.
Get some other John over there at third base. My God, he's awful. All right, there's my little Philly accent for you. All right, let's move on to some fun facts. Shohei Ohtani and Michael Lorenzen both playing today. That was yesterday, and the Angels, the first team with two-way players since I think it was 1959. They would put that out. The Reds were the last one. Let's get to some stat heroes of the day. Nick Martinez, a guy that I have in a lot of leagues where it's mandatory RP spots because I just wanted to see what happens. 6 innings, no decision against the Giants. He looked pretty good, 5 1/3. Dylan Bundy, only 2 strikeouts, but he did give up 0, or should I say didn't give up an earned run. Paul Blackman, no earned run, 7 Ks over the Rays, so that one kind of came out of nowhere. Matt Manning, 2 Ks of his own, 1 earned run. The hitters yesterday, Jesus Sanchez having a good day with 2 bombs. Michael Franco hit a home run. He went 4 for 5. Big day for Franco. 3 for 3 for Benintendi with a dinger. Brandon Marsh, another one of the big Angels prospects with a home run, 4 RBI yesterday.
Brandon Marsh.
Springer, 3 for 5 with a home run. Stephen Kwan cannot be beat. Joe Adele shows signs of life with a home run himself. And of course, Byron Buxton, 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs, and a partridge in a pear tree. Let's talk about the Kwan, because the Kwan was a phenomenon over the weekend when we left on Friday together, and I've been back to talk about him since. What do you make of the Kwan?
I mean, the Quan is everything that we've kind of talked about, or at least I've talked about. And I think some of I got to give a shout out to my boy, Eddie Almengar for Prospects Live. He was on the Stephen Quan train for quite some time ago. My problem has always been, I'm kind of just repeating myself, is that Quan, I would liken to like Luis Arise, or take his former college teammate, Nick Madrigal. Lots and lots of contact. You just are trying to find where are the counting stats. Now, he looks like he's on another train in another plane of existence on how this guy is able to make contact. He also doesn't strike out. So, like, I'm with that. And I think that opens up more possibilities. Like, the problem with Nick Madrigal is he's also just not finding, like, fantastic contact. Luis Arise actually did just run into a homer, and I think that's a prime example. I think, though, in all of the excitement of Stephen Quan, there's the fantasy values in different league formats and stuff, and he's a no-brain pickup if you had been sitting on him. I find it hard that his value will never be like this again. Like, I find it hard that his value will ever be higher than it is at this moment.
Agreed.
And I think because of overreactions that happen in the first week or two, it is the prime time to go and see what people will pay. I don't want to be the anti-Quan guy because, dude, he looks like one of the best hitters in all of baseball. I think I saw someone post a stat that he is tied or leads baseball in total bases, and he doesn't have a homer. Like, that's a wild thing to think about here. Like, Byron Buxton obviously has, I think that was coming into last game. He has, 3 homers, which would be 12 total bases, but he's gone off the walls. But I would be putting him out there to see what the crazies would pay for him. But I think he's a relative mainstay, and he seems like the most prototypical number 2 hitter I've ever seen in my life.
Well, yeah, as you pointed out, as long as he keeps making contact, he can be useful. But, the idea of what his power ceiling is obviously low, and we see this every year, every April. You remember Mercedes last year, one of our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks made that mention. I remember, God, who was the guy for the Astros a couple years ago, Welsh? Remember he had a torrid April and then he disappeared into nowhere.
There's always one of those guys.
There's always a couple of them.
Chris Sheldon, Brandon Inge. There's all those guys over the years that do that. I don't like to say that Quan is going to be that, because here's the difference. I think Quan will still be valuable where Yerman Mercedes just disappeared. And Yerman just went into a month of being able to make insane contact, and then he just disappeared. Quan, the difference would be, like, he just won't have his counting stats. He'll still hit. He'll still not strike out, but he might not make the impact. Everyone's excited right now because he had a 3 RBI triple. He hasn't struck out. He has lots of hits. But what happens when he gets back down to earth and he hits like right around 300 or under, and he's not getting RBI and he's not having those opportunities? You're just going to realize, like, as fun as this guy is, he's not Miles Straw. I'm not getting the stolen bases, and he's not Ahmed Rosario, who's now going to be moved to theoretical 5 when Quan's hitting 2 and having RBI opportunities. So, like, here would be one right now. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Ahmed Rosario or Stephen Quan?
Oh, probably Rosario. I mean, I've just seen a lot more of him.
Easy.
So,
but I don't think the perception is like that. Like,
but that's a trade you can make. That's absolutely a trade you can make right now in a lot of leagues. All right, let's go with some of the hitters who are been some stat zeros lately. Bobby Witt, 0 for 4, 3 Ks. We had Bo Bichette, 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Oh no, the sky's falling. Bryce Harper, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts of his own. Soler, Austin Riley, Chapman, all 0 for 4, 3 Ks. Hitters are a little behind right now. What's it, 1 for 14 now with 7 strikeouts for Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah, it's not
Bye, Julio. Bye, Bobby Witt. Don't. It's been a week almost. Oh, it's like it hasn't been a week yet. Just go get him. Get him now. People are freaking out, especially people who overpaid. Go make a move. This is your time. Ranger Suarez, by the way, yesterday, also a stat 0, 5 hits, 1 K, no decision against the Mets, only 2 innings. And Huascar Yanoa also gave up 7 hits, 4 Ks there in a loss to the Nats. I want to move on to the home run calls. We were cold, apparently, on home run calls yesterday. 3 for 78 as a group. What's going on? Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks. I'm used to like a 50% range. I think it's because I wasn't here. People were lost, and that's okay. Lomer Boy got Connor Joe. Mobets got George Springer, and Waking Life got Javier Baez, which, by the way, that Baez shot. Holy crap. Last night I saw that one. Whoa. That was a monstrous home run.
That's a classic Javi homer, by the way, too, where it's just gone.
Yeah, as soon as he touches it, it's out. I'm not going to read the leaderboard yet because everybody's at 2. So when somebody starts to pull away, I see some people at the top right now, and everyone's got 2. I haven't gotten on the board yet. My home run call and Welsh is a little later on. First, I want to hit some of the prop bets here. And of course, we're brought to you
I am on
by
the board, though.
BetMGM. So if you put a $10 bet, you can win 200 on any game, regardless of the outcome, when you register with BetMGM and that promo code leading off, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. And again, this is part of BetMGM. So what you want to do right now is go download the BetMGM app or go to betmgm.com and enter that promo code leading off to place your first bet wager risk-free. There you go. All there for you, up to $1,000. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions, and we're giving you away money, basically, to go make some more money. How about that? But make sure you use that promo code leading off. It's very important. It's very important. We got to track all that so we know how many of our folks are signing up, because our sponsor is very happy with us. And I can tell you right now, Fantasy Pros is loving you guys. We see you guys who, because of leading off, join the home run calls. If you haven't gotten in there, I'm telling you, in May, we're going to start giving away prizes. We're going to do a grand prize at the end of the year. So this is your chance of giving everybody April to kind of get in the door. So don't wait too long. Go to fantasypros.com/chat in the Discord channel to find it, and go become a premium member so you can get into that specific room. Today, I actually like the total bases over on Byron Buxton right now. He's at 1.5. They have been projected over at Fantasy Pros at 3.5. Zach Wheeler earned runs. I like this one too. This is set at 1.5. We've got this at 2.62, so there's a nice variance there. Jorge Polanco is a really good matchup today. He's at 1.5 on the total bases. Those are all BetMGM lines as well that we're looking at, and that's projected at 2.62, so a nice variance there with Jorge Polanco. And then the last one I like is over on DK, which is Aaron Judge, total bases at 1.5. I like this matchup against Kikuchi today that they've got. So Polanco, Judge, and Buxton over on the total bases, and then I like Zach Wheeler on the earned runs. Anything for you that stands out here, Welsh?
I really like the last one, the Judge one you said. I would say I kind of like the Kyle Schwarber over total bases, and it's actually plus money on DraftKings right now. And I know he's going up against Ty Lord, but leading off, it's just a great spot for more at bats, and I like the total base marker. I also like, kind of jumping on what you were doing with the earned runs, I kind of like the Tyler Mahle earned runs against the Guardians. Guardians offense at the top, you've got Kwan, you've got Straw, obviously you've got Ramirez and Reyes, so it's 1.5. It's like minus 161, I think, is the best marker you can get on BetMGM. So I like that one as well. And this is a little bit more of a shot out of the dark here, but I kind of like Seth Beer total bases. It's only at 0.5. So you need one on base, one hit, and it's minus 125. And he's going up against his old team that drafted him, the Houston Astros. So Seth Beer, total bases at 0.5. Over Tyler Mahle, earned runs over at 1.5, and Kyle Schwarber over total bases at plus money on DK at 1.5. Those are the ones I like.
Now, today's pitching matchups are a little weird. They're a little wonky, if you will, in honor of the Penguin. We've got in the main slate tonight, 7:05, you got the Brewers and the Orioles. Again, this is a tough game to gauge. And of course, you've got the Toronto Blue Jays and the Yankees. Everyone's going to have a lot of attention on that one. I think that's kind of the game, quote unquote, of the night. Mets and Phillies with Ty Lord this afternoon, obviously another one, but some strange pitching here, a lot of haves and have-nots, because of that time where the rotations start to turn over a little bit. So you do have like a Yu Darvish on the slate today, but you've also got, some lower tier pitching. So it's going to be a weird slate in terms of offense. So from a DFS standpoint, you got Jesus Luzardo at 7.3 going against the Angels, 7.1 on FanDuel, 7.3 on DK. I like the Oppo play here against the Angels. I think a lot of people on the Sandoval side. So if you're playing tournaments tonight, I think Jesus Luzardo, can he carry over what he was doing in spring? And if he can, there's a real chance to separate, especially on DK. He's a really nicely priced secondary arm. Luis Garcia, 9.4 on DK, 8.6 on FanDuel. I think he's a really good cash game value play on FanDuel, especially without a lot of guys there tonight. I think he's a good win equity, good quality start equity against the Diamondbacks and Bumgarner. Darvish is that one chalky pay up guy, but that's okay to do that. 10.1 K, 9.7. But once again, if you want to go the Oppo way, he's going against Alex Cobb, who's had a very good spring trading himself. And the Cobb play is just 7K on DK, 7.6 on FanDuel. So this is a very simple main slate to me tonight, Welsh. It's the chalky Yu Darvish is fine to play. I would go the Oppo with Jesus Luzardo. The cheap kind of, I think, best value play is Garcia, clearly. And then Alex Cobb is another one of those Oppo plays. So if you're playing tournaments, you put Luzardo and Cobb together and they both get wins tonight. That could be a really good night for you in a tournament. But I think Garcia and one of them might be a better, safer floor, if you know what I mean.
I was about to say, like, I really like the Cobb one. And also on prop bets, if I could have got his strikeouts at 3.5, I would have jumped on it. It's at 4.5, but it's plus money, something to watch for, as he had an uptick in velocity in preseason.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. But I love the Garcia Luzardo play because the Diamondbacks, you have to stack against the Diamondbacks whenever you can, whatever pitcher's playing them. I would go Luis Garcia, and I like the upside play of Luzardo with that huge uptick. So I would definitely put those two together.
Well, you also know everybody's just going to see Marlins and Angels and go, oh, let's go to the Sandoval side. I don't want to do that. I don't think you can make any money that way. I think you're going to make a lot more money on the Luzardo side of this game. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's why it's a tournament play. Game stacks tonight. I like the Dodgers. That's an easy one. The New York Yankees against Kikuchi, the lefty in New York. And I like the Houston Astros, as we're talking about before. Gotta go troll those Diamondbacks. Lineup builders today. Get your pens and pencils out, boys and girls. On DraftKings, you got Trey Mancini at 2.9. I'm still going to go back to the Bobby Witt. 2.3. He's super cheap. Eventually he's going to hit, and the ownership percentage gets less and less every single bad game he has, which is great because eventually he's going to have a huge return day at a 2.3 salary, and you're going to love him for it. Jeremy Pena is at 2.2. I don't know how. I don't know why. He's hitting 2. He's 2.2. Get him in your lineup twice if you can, but you can't. Sorry. All right, Connor Joe also 3.1 on DK at the top of that order. I like that when he had a good night last night. FanDuel guys, Mancini again at 2.7. Donaldson at the top of the order at 3.2. Jesus Aguilar at 2.2 is very cheap. Joe Adell coming off a good night, 2.3. Josh Bell at 2.8. Bobby Witt, 2.5. Connor Joe at 2.8. And Jeremy Pena again at 2.3. The early FanDuel is always going to be very loose, especially with the younger players like Pena, like Adell. Keep on riding this. You saw if you stuck with Adell, you got paid out, right? Last night. I want to practice patience with Bobby Witt in the DFS world too. Don't go freaking out. It's cheap. Now's the time to get in on it. There's just less risk. So that's how I'm looking. Anybody stand out to you in some of these lineup builders, Welsh?
I like keep playing the Bobby Witt one. Also, I'm a little tenuous about Jeremy Pena just because I like the pitcher versus the Diamondbacks, maybe not quite as much as the hitters versus the Diamondbacks that I'm paying crazy on because I believe it's Bumgarner that's going tonight. It was supposed to be Zach Gallen. He got scratched. Bumgarner looked pretty decent, and I feel like he could put some moves on a young guy like Jeremy Pena. But I like the Bobby Witt play, and I like the Connor Joe play. You know, Connor Joe still rocking with that, so I like that one.
Getting it done. All right, here you go. This must be your cousin. Joel wants to know, should I trade Bryce Harper to get Byron Buxton? Now, no. I will say this. If you can get Buxton plus, like you get Buxton and a pitcher, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it depends on you.
You got to get Buxton real plus. This is not a lot of plus. I mean, like I can be dumb, but I'm not silly. I'm not a big old silly goose that I'm going to make trades like this, regardless of me loving Byron Buxton or not. Those are not the type of trades that you make. You don't trade absolute superstars to get guys that are hot. Frankly, if the other guy sent that trade, we would be like, dude, you take advantage of this all day, every day, because Bryce Harper's cooled off a little bit in the beginning of the year and Byron Buxton is hot. No, you don't make that trade unless, like Joe said, you get like a solid addition to Buxton, not like some little tiny thing.
Would I'm just throwing out ideas here. I was gonna say, would Alek Manoah and Buxton do it for Harper?
I mean, now we're talking, but I gotta be honest with you, I still don't think I do it.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to think of what it might. What about Alex Bregman off the hot streak right now for Harper?
I mean, especially if you had Gio Urshela is like your third baseman or something like that, and you had to fill that spot. Yeah, I would see that. Like, listen, I love Byron Buxton more than all of you. That he's my calls, but the inherent problem is everything that you guys talk about is that there's an injury prone problem out there. Bryce Harper is a perennial MVP candidate. I put a futures bet on him for MVP again this year. So I still have a strong belief. So to trade one guy who's playing up, to trade one guy who hasn't met their ideal range yet for this year, when that other guy is already a top, 8 player, that's just not you're just taking on so much risk for what? For what? Maybe a couple more stolen bases? Nah. No.
And also shout out to Scott Bogman is absolutely in order. And Boggs will be back again on Friday, I believe, of the show. Yes. So that is going to be good times. I did watch a bit of the show yesterday, as I said. So it was a great job by Welsh and Bogman holding
They were
it
not
down.
happy you weren't here. The Peanuts and Crackers were not happy that you weren't here, Joe,
Oh, stop. Why? What is nothing special about me? I'm like the JD Davis, which I said last year. I was like, JD Davis is not special. I would want a big rant about JD Davis and him not being special. And guess what? He's still not special. That's me. I'm not special.
Not. You are, buddy.
Like special in another way, maybe. But all right, let's talk about your final thoughts before we get out of here. Actually, no, wait. Sorry. Home run calls almost crossed right over it. The most important thing of the day. I need to get on the board because I was mentally off yesterday. I forgot to put in the home run call myself. So now I need Stanton to hit 2. So I like Stanton today to go ahead. And there's been a dispute here. Mike Mayer and I are arguing about should it be main slate? Because last year it was main slate only. He wants to open it up. Welsh, I want you to be the tiebreaker here. I say we keep it the way it was. Do you want to open it up to any home run call as long as you get it in before the game starts?
I think as long as we get it in before the shows start, I think that's the play. This isn't a DFS game. It's not a DFS game. So yeah, I would say it's not. I mean, maybe if there's like a game that starts up like 30 minutes after this show, maybe we don't do that. But I say we open up the full kit and caboodle.
Right. So once again, I'm the fun police, and everybody else is going to have fun. By the way, this is my favorite one from Go Cards. We love Joe until he morphs into Voldemort, which is true. They called me Lord Voldemort, and I think there's a chance. Last year on the show for football and Halloween, I was Thanos, and I did the entire show as Thanos in character for an hour,
really,
mask and all. There's some people already asking for Lord Voldemort to do the entire Harry Potter. How do you do the whole show like this? And I'm going to have to hold my hands in this direction. I don't know. Maybe I'll hold my mouth this way. We went to the Harry Potter experience.
Maybe a segment.
No. You got it. If you're going to do it.
I got the segment, Joe. It's called He Who We Do Not Speak About. And it can be somebody that is bugging you. It can be Byron Buxton. It could be a Byron Buxton segment. It's the segment called He Who We Do Not Speak About.
And then I become he who no longer has a job if I continue to do stupid things like this.
Yeah,
apparently, though, they love it. Everybody likes it when I do these stupid things. Dr. Evil has been proposed as well this year.
Sure.
Because basically I already have the costume. It's just my face. I just got to make a little scar and I'm basically done.
Between you and Bogman, you guys could do some great impressions. Bogman's got some great. I've got like 2 in my pocket, but you do fantastic ones. And you and Boggs would be a great impression show. I think you should do it.
I'm all for it, but I will say, if you're in the Philadelphia area, go check out the Harry Potter experience. It was awesome. Kids loved it. If you're a big Potter nerd like I am, I know Derek Brown, our brother of FantasyPros, is a huge Harry Potter dork. I told him you got to go check it out. It was great fun, and it was nice to have a day off. But I am very happy to be back here today with all my peanuts and Cracker Jack. So
before you do what you're about to do, I was about to say, are you about to not let me pick
Stanton.
a home run call?
No. Okay. I've got Stanton. Welsh. Who do you have today for your home run call?
Well, because I am on the board, and I do have one from my Vladimir Guerrero call this past weekend, which, God, why would I not pick Byron Buxton? It's disgusting. Every weekend, I should auto get Byron Buxton Friday through Sunday. I am going to go with the guy on the other side. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge doesn't have a crazy big history against Yusei Kikuchi. I believe it's only 7 at-bats, but he does have 2 home runs in those contests. So you take Stanton, I take Judge. Maybe both of us are going to take it home, and I'm going to hopefully get tied on the leaderboard as long as one of those top guys don't move forward with all those big tied 2s. I'm looking to get back on the board.
All right, and it looks like Mike Mayer's taking Nolan Arenado today. So final thoughts here. What are you looking for today in baseball, Welsh, before we head out?
Oh, I'm not looking to not have the worst, most crushing gambling loss of my life that I had yesterday, and that I decided to quit gambling yesterday forever. And I don't know. We'll see what happens today if I make any bets. Worst, most crushing loss. Horrible day, though I do appreciate the chat. The one I was very vocal about on the show yesterday, Alex Cobb strikeout totals definitely hit. It smacked, I think, 6 in 3 innings, which was a great one. And it was about the only thing that I won yesterday because of Brandon Marsh hitting a homer. And it was, Joe, no run first inning.
Well, it wasn't Alex Cobb. It was Alec Manoah. Is that what you're
Alec Wood. No, Alec Wood strikeout was a hit.
Alex Wood. Okay.
But you don't really want to play no first.
Cobb. I just want to make sure.
I'm sorry. Alex Wood. To get them confused. Same team. But no run first innings are dangerous bets. I bet one. I had it. The ump did not call a third strike. Which it would have ended the inning and made me win a lot of money. They walked him. The very next pitch, Brandon Marsh hit a 3-run home run off of Eliezer Hernandez, and it absolutely crushed me, and I quit gambling yesterday.
But that's okay. You're back on the wagon today. I'm actually watching Alex Cobb closely tonight and Jesus Luzardo. Those two pitchers, it's the first start of the season, okay? Kind of important to get off to a good start for those guys. We're off to a good start of the season. Again, make sure you follow us and subscribe to Fantasy Pros. And if you're watching this video, before you leave, like it. You got to like the video. It's part of being here. And make sure you subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB channel, and specifically the Leading Off Show, because it's awesome. And we're here for you every single day at noon with live baseball talk, prop bets, wagering, DFS, fantasy. We got it all covered for you, baby. And of course, go check out BetMGM. Download it today, and you can use that promo code Leading Off. And all you got to do, baby, is make that first wager risk-free, and they will match you up to $200 when you bet $10 any game. So go ahead and get in there, BetMGM, and that code Leading Off. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.